Many people remain obsessed with the life of Charles Manson. The cult leader of the Manson family lived most of his life in various prisons, jails, and juvenile detention centers due to his criminal behavior. What do you know about Charles Manson's life behind bars? Let's take a look. Born in Cincinnati, Manson's life seemed doomed from the start. Born to a 15-year-old mother with different men coming in and out of his life. Manson's mother was a felon with a drinking problem, giving him anything but a stable home during his formative years. Manson's first offense occurred at the age of 9 when he set the school on fire. Additional charges of theft and truancy led Manson to his first facility, Gilbault School for Boys. Gilbault, located in Terre Haute, Indiana, still remains an active placement for youth ages 6 to 18, first opened in 1921 as a home for wayward boys. According to Gilbault, they have provided life-changing opportunities for over 10,000 children and their families. Manson arrived at the facility in 1947. At that time, the school was run by the Brothers of Holy Cross from Notre Dame, Indiana. They ran a very strict facility with punishments including beatings with a wooden paddle. Gilbault wasn't for Manson, and he ran away, sleeping outside before making it home to his mother. Following Christmas in 1947, he was returned to the facility by his mother. He would last 8 months at the facility before running away for good, this time to Indianapolis. Manson would turn to crime. After more petty theft charges, he would be sent to Boystown in Nebraska. Boystown, also known as Father Flanagan's Boys' Home, started as an orphanage. It remains a well-known facility that houses juveniles. Its mission statement is, changing the way America cares for children and families. Manson was only at Boystown for 4 days before escaping and returning to what he knew: robbery and theft. After 2 weeks, he was back in custody. This time, the judge would show no mercy, sending Manson to Indiana Boys School. Indiana Boys School is a school in name only. In reality, it is a correctional facility for juvenile males. Indiana Boys School opened on historic Route 40 near Plainfield, Indiana in 1867. In 2005, the facility closed and it was turned into a pre-release facility, Heritage Trails Correctional Facility. Manson would allege that he was abused while at the facility. He was also becoming quite the escape artist, absconding from the facility in February 1951 at the age of 16. Again, turning to crime, he would be arrested for stealing a car and taking it across state lines, a federal offense. This time, he would be sent to the National Training School for Boys in the Fort Lincoln area of Washington, D.C. Upon intake to the facility, he would be found illiterate but test at a 109 IQ level. The facility was built during the New Deal era, being completed in 1937. It was a facility for males under the age of 17 and provided job skills necessary to be successful. The school closed in 1968 and not much information could be found on its current state. Manson was not there for long and was transferred in October 1951 to Natural Bridge Honor Camp. It appears that Natural Bridge Honor Camp was transferred to the state of Virginia at some point. In 2019, the property was sold to a private individual and closed due to a budget shortfall. In February 1952, Manson was set for a parole hearing for his possible release, but prior to that he was caught assaulting another resident. Instead of parole, he would be transferred to a higher security facility, the Federal Reformatory in Petersburg. Now known as FCI Petersburg, it has medium and low security facilities that house 3,400 inmates. The facility Manson was incarcerated in is now the low security facility, FCI Petersburg Low. The prison was built in 1930 and housed Italian POWs during World War II. Manson would have serious disciplinary issues at the Federal Reformatory with 8 recorded offenses. Again, it did not seem prison was reforming the young Manson, only making him more violent and antisocial. He would be transferred to the maximum security Federal Reformatory in Chillicothe, Ohio, which was a federal prison from 1926 to 1966. In the 1950s, the prison had a population between 1,100 and 1,200 offenders with an average age of 19. At that time, the average inmate had a 6th grade level education. The facility now goes by the name Chillicothe Correctional Institution and is a state-run facility, having been transferred from federal control. The current facility holds 2,950 inmates. Manson would be paroled just before his 21st birthday in May 1955. Although he would marry and have a child, the criminal lifestyle would continue. Once more, arrested and convicted of taking a stolen car across state lines, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison. He would serve it at Terminal Island in Los Angeles. At the entrance of Los Angeles Harbor lies FCI Terminal Island, next to a Coast Guard base. The facility was built in 1938 and has served as a low to medium prison in the federal system since 1955. The prison is located in a strange location and resembles a port facility rather than a prison. When released from Terminal Island in 1958, he was on parole and, given his track record, unlikely to succeed. In 1958, he was involved in prostituting women and was arrested on forgery charges. Manson went to New Mexico to escape the eyes of the law, but a warrant had been issued for him. After he was caught, he received a 10-year sentence. Manson served his sentence at the United States Penitentiary at McNeil Island. McNeil was an old facility, opening in 1875 as a territorial correctional facility. Much like Alcatraz, this facility is located on an island that is difficult to escape. Like many of the other prisons we have touched on, McNeil was transferred to state control in 1984. When it closed in 2011, it had an inmate capacity of 853. In June 1966, he was transferred back to Terminal Island to prepare for his release. Manson had asked prison authorities permission to stay because it had become his home. He was released on March 21, 1967. Many know the story of Manson from 1968 to 1971. He would form his Manson family and be charged with 9 counts of murder. He was convicted and sentenced to death. Manson was sent to death row at San Quentin in 1971. It wouldn't be long before his death sentence would be commuted to life after it was found unconstitutional. He would bounce around several high-security California prisons. Manson was transferred to Folsom State Prison, where just a few years earlier Johnny Cash had performed. Folsom is the second oldest prison in California with a capacity of just over 2,000. He would remain at Folsom until 1976, when he would be transferred to California Medical Facility at Vacaville due to his deteriorating mental health. He would remain at this facility for 9 years. California Medical Facility holds all security levels due to its medical purpose. According to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, the facility operates a 400-bed inpatient psychiatric CTC, a 50-bed mental health crisis bed CTC, and the first licensed prison hospice in the United States. Manson would be attacked at the prison in 1984, causing serious burns all over his body. Following the attack, Manson was moved back to San Quentin, the oldest prison in California, where he started his sentence. Check out my link above for more in-depth profiles of San Quentin and Folsom. California State Prison would be his last major stop. Manson arrived in 1989, not long after the prison opened in 1988. Located in central California near the town of Corcoran, the facility has a capacity of over 3,000 inmates. Manson would spend 28 years at California State Prison, and his age would catch up to him. On November 19, 2017, he would die at a Bakersfield, California hospital. We have now explored each prison that Charles Manson once inhabited. He may be, in fact, the most infamous inmate at each of them. Manson led a life of crime and spent most of his life behind bars. He also left a trail of destruction in his path. If you enjoy my content, like and subscribe. As always, see you next time.